All right, it's that day, everybody. It's that day, everyone. It's the day. It's the day. What's the day, everybody? We're gonna fucking probably mess this up. Probably. Oh, ain't it always the way? Howdy diddly do, everybody. My name is Decollate, the trained unprofessional, and welcome, one and all, to Tennis Ace, episode whatever the shit. I don't know. It's day 26 of June's out. The day that apparently we have decided we're going to decide whether or not June is going to be all BF. Who the fuck knows if that's even close to what will happen? Not a goddamn clue. But regardless, let's do this shit. The smell of sauteed onions tickles my nose while I stir the skillet, slowly drizzling in some sauce. I was just going a little bit insane this morning, watching the clock tick and waiting for the appropriate time for me to leave the house. Got to the point where that was so unbearable, I just had to find something else to distract me before I went insane. So I got started on lunch about an hour early and decided to meal prep for a few days. At least Aki and I will have food to take to school on Monday. Are you sure you're feeling okay? Aki had been probing me with questions since I got started, telling me just how weird I was acting and yada yada yada. Can't someone start making lunch at 9 a.m. without getting a third degree? Sheesh. What feels like the fifth time? Yes, I'm okay. That was only the third time I asked, though. Why are you even asking me the same question 3 times in a row? Why have you been cooking since sighing? Why have you been cooking while sighing every couple of seconds? But I've been sighing. And I'm the Queen of England. Have I been sighing? I didn't notice that. You've also been tapping your foot a lot. You usually only do that when you feel antsy. Just how close of an eye are you keeping on me? I've got to get my blackmail material from somewhere. Yeesh! That sounded incredibly ominous. I swear I just felt my skin crawl. Are you really that nervous about going to meet June, son? I'm fine. Will you stop friggin' asking me questions already? Sure. By the way, though, Mr. Fine. What? Your sauce is burning. What? Oh, shit! Jesus. I quickly poured down the water that I'd forgotten to add in an attempt to save up, immediately creating a wave of steam that rose to hit my voice, hurting my eyes. What I was left with was a pile of burnt onions and soy sauce stuck to the skillet. Good job. Shut up! Just go get the trash bag. At least it was just some onions. Those were the last ones we had in the fridge. I need to go out to buy more. They just cook without the onions. Guess I'll have to. Sorry I burned them. Why are you apologizing to me? I don't know. This is true that sassy little runs don't deserve any apologies. Thank God I started this early. At least I have time to fix this. Can you wash this skillet for me while I work on prepping other stuff? Sure. Now I know this is fucking fiction. There's no way in goddamn hell. My face. Oh, man. Aki quickly hops down from his seat by the counter, grabbing the hot skillet and running it under some warm, soapy water. I get to work on roughly chopping some veggie tables so I can roast them along with the salmon that I'm preparing. You don't have to make this much food, you know. What do you even need the sauce for? I'm supposed to use it to brush the salmon before serving. Have you ever realized that the more stressed you are, the more complicated the meals you cook get? Yes. Cooking is one of those few things I enjoy doing to relax. Give me a break. Besides, I've never seen you complain about me going out of my way to cook something extra fancy. I guess I could substitute the onions for some minced garlic. I need to add a little more sugar to get the sweetness that usually comes with the onions, though. You're basically speaking Greek to me. You could always learn to cook, too. I'd be willing to teach you. Pass. You're gonna need to learn how to do it eventually, you know. Nah, I'll just order out. I really hope you end up getting a job that makes a lot of money then, because that sounds unsustainable. By the way, what are you two going to be doing today anyway? I'm taking June to the theater. There's a local orchestra playing tonight. Apparently they're pretty good for an unknown group. That sounds like the sort of thing you'd like. Right? Starts at 5, so I was thinking of us going around town for a little bit and killing time together. I know we like sweets, so I was thinking I'd take him to a bakery. Wow, you thought of it all based on things he likes, huh? Well, yeah, that's what you usually do on a day as special as this. Hucky's eyebrow twitches, the smile vanishing from his face completely. Oh, and how come today is such a special day? Well, we're celebrating both of us doing well in our tennis tests. After all, can you believe his lowest grade was an 82? I sure can't. Uh-huh. Then how come you're not going out with the others too? I'm sure they also did really well. Well, you know, June was the only one running a risk of failing, so it makes sense that I'm treating him. You're allowed to call it a date, you know. I already told you that I'm cool with you two being a thing before. Does not compute! Does not compute! Exterminate! That's the judgment. It's still out on that one. I think you mean it still isn't. Something to that effect, yeah. Dots. Alright then. You can tell me officially when you're ready. Just make sure you don't end up hurting June-san, alright? I'm not taking relationship advice from a 12-year-old. Thank you. You're welcome. Here, I finished washing your pan. I appreciate it. I think like my brain is slowly turning to mush. Aki, why do you have to do this to me today of all days? Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh my! Oh my! Ah, it's finally here. I'm standing in front of June's house, feeling way too nervous to knock on the door. I tried leaning my neck against the wall for a second while I gathered my nerve, but ended up nearly burning myself. God damn it, Summer, why do you have to arrive so cruelly every year? The brick on the street feels like a freaking furnace. Not to mention the asphalt radiating heat everywhere. I feel like I'm cooking alive. I hate this weather. Me too, motherfucker, me too. Here we go. After arguing with myself for damn near 5 whole fucking minutes, I finally knock on the door, waiting patiently for an answer. I wonder if June's parents are home. I know there's a chance his dad is out on shift right now, but I don't know if his mom works weekends. After a minute or two, I finally hear footsteps come from the other side. Hey there, Rutherford, son, you're here. A tiger appears near the side of the open door, stuttering and twitching, probably even more nervous than I am. His head is even tinged red for some reason. Somehow seeing him looking like this helps me relax a tiny little bit. June, thank you. I really owe you one. Hey, I'm here to pick you up. Sorry I'm late. It's alright. It's not like I was waiting anxiously on the other side of the door for you to get here. June, you really are an open book. How come it took you so long to answer the door if that's the case? I said it wasn't the case. Alright, then hypothetically, if it had been the case, why would you have taken so long to get to the door? I might have hypothetically dropped my key behind the shoe cabinet. June. Okay then. You ready to go? Do you need to say bye to your parents or anything? No, they're both at work right now. It's just me in the house. Alright then, let's get going. Yeah. Oh, lordy bagordy. The two of us walked together through the neighborhood streets, heading to the all too familiar sight of the downtown train station. As we get closer and closer to it, the amount of people on the streets increases little by little until we're finally surrounded by more bodies than I can count. Man, it really gets busy here on the weekends, huh? Oh, right. I forgot. Are you gonna be alright?
Yeah, I think so. I've been slowly getting better at dealing with crowds. It's just... My old school didn't have all that many students to begin with, and it was in this smaller town a few hours away from Nagoya, and I never had to deal with them back there.
Nagoya? But your old school was in the Chubu region? That's far.
Not that far. Could have been worse still. But yeah, I lived away from Kanto for 7 years. And Saitama is also a big city on its own, so it's no wonder that I'm not used to it anymore.
I didn't know any of that. How come you never said anything?
It's not like it was super relevant at any point. I mean, what difference does it make knowing where my old school was?
I guess he has a point in that.
I've been slowly getting better acclimated to it, though. I mean, I have to if I want to move to Germany for my college graduation.
Actually, now that you mention it, I do have a question about that.
Oh, what is it?
You talked a few times about going to school in Germany, but I don't know any specifics. What kind of school is this in the first place?
Oh, I guess that's true. There are currently 3 schools I have my eye on. The number 1 choice is the Cologne University of Music, which is the most prestigious musical institution in all of Europe.
Whoa, for real? And you can get in there?
They are very selective. If I didn't have a 7-year hiatus in my piano competitions, and assuming I spent the entire time getting the same level of results as I did before I stopped, my approval would be pretty much certain. But now, even if I manage to fulfill my goal of winning every competition I'm taking part of in this year, it'll still be a toss-up. That's why I have 2 other backup choices in case I don't get in. They are also leading schools in the musical world, but nowhere near as prestigious. I really want to get into my top choice, though. That's been my dream since I was a kid.
Wow, I can't even imagine. I've never really dreamed of college or specialized education myself. My dad taught me about tennis when I was only 6. At the time, I found it very fun, but didn't have any lofty goals related to it. After he passed away, though, it felt to me like tennis was the only way I could feel close to him. So I kept going because of the memory pushing me forward. Even though I still fell in love with the sport and decided to make it my career, there are still nights when I can't sleep, wondering if this is really my own dream or if I just stole someone else's. And you never had a doubt about it? Not even once did you think that maybe this isn't what you wanted after all?
No, never. I started playing piano when I was 3. By the time I turned 8, I had already spent all my day playing it. It was what I loved to do the most. I could never imagine a future without it. After all, from the moment I had any awareness of who I was as a person, the piano was the most important thing in my life. Of course, things didn't go quite as I planned. My goals changed a little bit now that I'm aiming to be a game composer instead of a professional pianist. But my education choice isn't really affected by that. I can't really see any other path for me.
I don't know what to say. I want to say that I feel the same way for tennis, but it's so weird. I don't know if I can share the same level of conviction over it as he does. I've never really stopped to think about just how driven Jun must be to follow a goal like this with all of his heart. It's so weird to see someone who seems so meek and absent-minded and realize that they're actually fighting really hard to make a huge dream come true. Even now, I feel like I'm still misjudging him due to the childish image I have of him in my head. Every time I think that's changed, I realize it's not yet the case. Sorry.
Huh? What for?
Just sorry in general.
Okay. Not really sure how to answer that.
That's alright, you don't need to say anything. Place a hand on top of Jun's head gently petting it and running my fingers through the soft, fluffy fur. Just seeing that peaceful, warm smile on his face makes my heart tighten up. June, I'm so grateful to you, in more ways than you can even imagine. Come on, there's no point in standing around by a street corner. We should head to our first destination already.
Yeah.
Dot.
Wait, where are we going again?
Why are you agreeing so enthusiastically when you have no idea?
It just sounded like a very exciting thing when you said it.
Never change, June.
Huh? How come? I mean, these clothes are gonna get sweaty and gross eventually, so I really need to...
I don't mean it like that! Just follow me, you dork!
Oh, okay.
After about 20 minutes walking through a downtown streets, we finally reach our destination. A small bakery that was recommended to me by Shoichi. This is where we came to get the cake for his dad's welcome party a while ago. Although the party itself ended up tanking because the idiot decided he just had to cook. At least the cake itself was pretty tasty, so I decided this would be a nice spot to come with June.
Oh, cakes! Lots of cakes and pastries.
Yep, I know you like sweets, so this is my first stop.
Yay, cakes!
Are you even listening to me right now? Here, let's sit on this table right here and try not to make too much noise.
Got it.
June obediently follows along with me, pulling up 2 chairs by a small corner table near the display case. You have to make your order on the counters, and just tell me what you want and I'll get it for you.
Strawberry anything.
Really? Anything?
Yeah, you know how I love strawberry more than anything. Why are you even surprised?
I don't know. When it comes to you, I never cease to be surprised, I guess.
What does that mean?
That you're adorable.
What? Don't just drop that on me all of a sudden.
I'll be right back. Well, let's see what the options I have. Hi there. Good afternoon. What can I help you with? Good afternoon. What do you guys have that is strawberry flavored? We have a few things. Strawberry shortcake, a strawberry and cream tart, strawberry eclair, candied strawberries. The eclairs are our most popular strawberry flavored dessert. That sounds good enough for me. Can I have a strawberry eclair for my friend and a lime tart for me? Certainly. Clerk grabs a pair of tongs and grabs one of each of my order, putting them in individual paper plates and placing them on a plastic tray to be carried to the table. Quickly pay for the bill, granted I do it without June's knowledge, and take our things back to the table. And done.
Oh, is that an eclair? 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 I don't know how it's said. It looks really good.
You couldn't hear us talking at the counter? It's only 5 or so steps away.
I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. I wasn't paying attention.
Distracted by what?
Your ass. He wants your ass. He wants to be inside of your ass.
That makes sense, I guess.
Well, hey, June, don't just eat it with your hands. Huh, I can't?
Why do you think I placed a fork and knife right next to your plate?
Sorry, I didn't notice them.
Come on, I know I usually say it's adorable how easily distracted you are, but even that has its limits. We're in public. Don't eat with your hands in public. Can't believe I'm having to teach you that lesson.
I know you're not supposed to do that. I just didn't see the silverware, and so I thought it was the only choice.
Sure, keep telling yourself that, buddy.
Oh, the cream inside is strawberry flavored too.
Is it good?
Yes, it's delicious.
I'm glad to hear. It lets me see more of that precious smile, and I'm on board to treat him like this as many times as I can.
What about your lime tart, Rutherford-san?
It's pretty good, yeah. I tend to prefer them slightly more acidic, but this one is still delicious. I can taste the lime in it pretty well.
It certainly looks good. Wouldn't trade my eclair for it, though.
Nobody's asking you to, you dork. 2 of us laughing at nothing in particular, enjoying our desserts while throwing away trivial conversation. June is so easy to talk to. It sometimes surprises me just how chatty he really is, considering how shy he was when we first met. It usually is that case. He also shows an interest in pretty much any topic that is brought up as well, so I never feel like I'm racking my brain trying to think of something he might enjoy talking about. If it's something he knows and likes, he'll contribute heavily to the conversation while gushing about it. If it's something he doesn't know very well or doesn't have a personal interest in, he'll ask questions about it and try to find out more about why I like it. He's a pretty good conversationalist once you get through the shy exterior, and his bubbly attitude always has a way of lifting my spirits. By the way, I hope I'm not overstepping any boundaries here, but I was kind of hoping I could ask you a bit more about your old school.
Why that, of all things?
Well, it was apparently a big chunk of your life, and I still feel like I know nothing about it. Was it a school for the disabled? Is that what happened there? Oh boy.
I suppose that's true. There's not much to talk about, though. The student body was pretty small, less than 100 students in total. It was also a boarding school, so I shared a dorm room with another student there. It was really awkward once I started getting older and realizing I was interested in guys.
How so?
Well, dorms weren't assigned specifically based on age. My roommate was 3 years older than me, and he was a track runner. He was also really confident in his body, so he didn't feel a need to go to the bathroom whenever he needed to get changed. It was hard not to look.
Oh, damn. I can imagine that situation being quite awkward for him.
There was also the communal showers. Those were always bordering on giving me a panic attack just thinking of all the ways I could embarrass myself in them. Other than that, it was a pretty normal school. My class had about 15 or so students at any given time. We had class projects, presentations, papers, tests, those sort of things.
What about friends? You lived and studied there for 7 years, right? Surely you must have had some.
Not really.
What? I have a hard time believing that. You're so sweet and kind and so nice. How can you not have any friends?
You and Shuichi-san went through a lot of effort to bring me into your group and make me feel welcome. Can you really imagine a bunch of 11-year-olds doing the same?
God, I identify so much with them right now. Not only with a small town school, but also having no friends for that entire time. Yeah. The only difference is I didn't have people prying me out of my social circle.
And I never had the confidence to insert myself into other people's assholes' conversations either. I ended up just spending all my time alone playing piano in the music room.
Well, I also had a piano room in there.
Yeah, it was one of the best parts of the place. They had music lessons as a part of the curriculum to serve as a kind of musical therapy.
Musical therapy? Uh-oh. Maybe I caught on to something here. Was he Katawa Shoujo too? For a brief second, I swore I could hear a sound akin to a squeak coming from the tiger as his eyes went wide.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You cram a bunch of young kids into a dorm away from their friends and families. Is it a surprise they need help adjusting?
I guess that makes sense. Or at the very least, I really want to believe it.
Music is a really powerful thing. It can calm the soul and make you feel better when you're down. It's also a great way to let out any bottled up feelings in a constructive manner. After all, there is a song for every possible emotion you could feel. You just pick one that matches up with your own feelings and use it to let them out.
That sounds like hippie talk. Hippie talk? Bitch! Part of me wants to say that to poke fun at the tiger just for the sake of embarrassing him a little, but that'd probably be cruel. Remember, Rutherford, no messing with people's beliefs. That's a no-no. At least you could use the piano to have a good time there, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing that made it tolerable a lot of the time. I'm really glad I met all of you, especially you, Rutherford-san. I wasn't in a good place when I came back home, and it really helped.
Oh no, I didn't think about that either. What was wrong?
It's hard to explain. There's a lot to unpack there, and I wouldn't know where to start. At the very least, I used to feel really lonely for the longest time, and now I don't. And it's all thanks to you.
Ba-bump! Ba-bump! Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. My heart pounds hard inside my chest, ringing all the way into my ears. Just seeing June's facing like that, it's enough to make my own face grow hot and red, and to make my ears tingle. I'm glad to have been here for you.
Yeah, I'm so thankful for you, Rutherford-san. For a lot more than you know.
I guess you and I have been sharing a wavelength on that without even noticing after all. What about our school? What do you think of it?
I really like it. Granted, I finally have friends again, and that finally helps a lot. That really helps a lot. But in general, it feels like a much more positive environment. There are more people around, so it helps me with the feeling of isolation, too.
I can't believe I'm asking this, but we can't have been the first friends you ever had, can we?
No, not at all. Back before I went to the boarding school I studied in, I used to have a handful of friends. I was also a lot more athletic, too. I liked to run around and play sports. Soccer was my favorite. I was lean back then, too.
Really? What happened?
Well, that's also tricky to answer. I guess I had a lot of going on at the time when I transferred to my old school. I was feeling so out of it that I couldn't socialize properly at first. When I finally felt better, too much time had passed. I already had a reputation as a loner, and I could feel the barrier between me and my classmates growing bigger and bigger. It was a weird time.
Damn. That's all heartbreaking to hear. But man, I have a hard time picturing a June like that. It's not like he isn't social. He's not bad with people by any means, but picturing him as some kind of social butterfly athlete that loves running around, am I forgiven for thinking that there's no way those two can be the same person? Literally does not compute in my head.
What about you, Rutherford-san?
Me? What about me?
You told me a little bit about you before, including how different you used to be when you were a kid. What changed?
Well, I guess I had too much pride.
What does that mean?
Back when I was a kid, everyone always painted me as this once-in-a-lifetime prodigy that would completely change the world of tennis. And I got really used to being called that. I had a lot of pride in my skills and used to think I was better than everyone. I always made sure not to show it. After all, that'd just be poor sportsmanship. Then this one kid showed up about 6 years ago. First, he wasn't anything special. I could mop the floor with him just like I did with everyone else. But with time, he started to get better. Eventually, our matches became really close, and I finally felt like I had a rival. Of course, I would always win back then. But he never stopped improving, you know. I started to lose. It became more frequent. As I realized that, I thought at one point, oh, this is someone I can't beat. I was done for when that happened. The distance between us kept widening, and I couldn't win anymore. All the pride and confidence I'd built up came crashing down to earth. Eventually, I guess even he decided I was no longer on his level because he cut contact with me. He probably didn't even consider me a rival anymore, and I subsequently agreed with him. When that happened, my entire motivation tanked. I didn't even feel like there was a reason to keep working hard when it felt like no matter what, I'd still lose. Everything in my life went downhill after that. The grades started getting worse little by little. I socialized less and less. It felt like a vicious cycle. The worse things got, the more I felt like it was all pointless. That just made me give up even harder. It's really hard to break out of a cycle like that.
Rutherford-san.
Honestly, I feel like it's just a dime a dozen uninteresting story. I mean, how many children are out there in the world that have had everyone's expectations thrust onto them and burn out from it?
Probably more than we think.
Right. So, really, I'm nothing special in that regard. I just happen to be a little bit good at a few things, but that doesn't make me a prodigy. And once you feel like you can't meet the expectations placed on you, it's like, why even bother?
I'm really sorry still.
It's alright. It took a while, but I feel like I'm starting to get better at it. I can feel my motivation returning little by little.
Really? Well, that's great. How come?
Well, for starters, I found another reason to work hard. To want to work hard. Lots of reasons.
You're not telling me? No fair.
Maybe I'll tell you later. Maybe.
Boo.
Says the guy who keeps like everything a secret. By the way, do you want me to get you another eclair?
Can I?
Man, distracting you with sweets is so easy. Maybe I should start carrying some around with me so I have an emergency topic change whenever I need it. Oh, we're in the fucking trees. These are the trees that we wish Shoichi got all smoochy smooch on, getting our smooch on. After we left the bakery, I decided to take June for a quick stroll around the park since there was still some time left before the orchestra would start. And after having so many sweets, I really feel like I need to walk for a bit to burn off those calories.
It's really nice in here.
You don't come into the park often?
What about me makes you think I leave the house much on my own?
Right, sorry.
I'm surprised at how many people are here, though. I mean, it's nowhere near as full as downtown, but...
It's the start of summer, so it's to be expected. People are going to want to take advantage of the weather.
You never talked about wanting to enjoy summer, though.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, summer, how I loathe thee in thy scorching tendrils of dry heat. You can fuck right off as soon as possible.
Actually, I just thought of something. You said you already had planned out a whole date, right?
Yeah, no, I did.
Does this mean there's more after this?
Well, yeah, of course. You didn't think our date was just going to be me taking you to a bakery, did you?
What? But the bakery was already so good.
Well, I guess I know my audience a little bit too well. If it ends up that the high point for him was going to the bakery after all the trouble I went through to get these orchestra tickets, I just might cry. We have some place to be at 5. Other than that, we're free to do whatever we want until then. That's supposed to be the main attraction, really.
At 5? Oh, that's in just 2 hours.
Yep. We need to take the train to get there, though, so I hope you're okay with being squeezed into a tin can for a little while.
I'll do my best. Thank you for letting me know beforehand so I have time to mentally prepare.
Of course. I would have avoided the train entirely if I could, but getting a taxi to the theater would have been way too expensive. It'd have been feasible if I didn't already pay for the tickets, but I can't swing both costs at once with my weekly allowance.
Are you going to tell me what it is we'll be doing at 5?
Nope. That much is a surprise.
But...
Sorry. The only way you're getting that information is to pry it from my cold, dead lips.
If you're dead, then there's no way you're going to be able to talk in the first place.
Exactly. That means you're not getting it.
You're so mean.
Only because I like you.
I see. I guess that's fine then.
You're so easy, June. That's what makes you cute. How are you enjoying yourself so far? Having fun?
Yes!
Walk a bit closer to him, putting one hand on top of the tiger's head and giving him a few more pets I know he likes.
Thank you for taking me out.
Of course! I wanted you to have something to look forward to after such a rough week.
Well, I appreciate it.
Speaking of which, how are you feeling? Doing alright over there? Not hiding any kind of discomfort or anything like that, are you?
Somehow I already knew you were going to ask me that next.
That means you're okay with answering me then, I hope.
Well, I should probably avoid tiring myself out too much. I'm fine right now, although I do still get a little lightheaded if I move too fast or exert myself too much. My body is probably a little more fragile than usual right now, so I should avoid doing anything strenuous again. But that shouldn't get in the way of me doing regular activities. Just have to be careful, that's all.
Yeesh. It's a good thing I'm not taking him for anything other that fits that kind of category. It'd be a real bad time if I ended up sending him off so soon after he got back.
Other than that, I'm alright. I'm not in any risk of dropping like I was earlier in the week. Honest.
I don't know how much of that I could believe, but at the same time, that's more forthcoming than he's ever been before about his condition. Condition! I guess that means he's slowly opening up to me. I just don't choose to believe that. Progress is progress. I'll take what I can get. Despite how much of an open book he is about most things, there is an equal amount about June that I know nothing about. Such a weird dynamic when I think about it. When I get that we all have things we'd rather keep secret. You know, locked away. Notice how he has the fucking keyblade on his sweater. Kingdom Hearts, fucking key, because he said parts of him are locked. And the key is pointed at his heart. Yo! How bad could the truth be? Is all this secrecy really necessary?
Oh, look, a street musician.
Jun points out a ram right around the corner that's playing his guitar and singing. Hey, you don't see those very often all this way over here. Tiger stops in front of the man, pulling out his wallet and dropping a bill inside the band's guitar case where he's been receiving donations. Most of the nearby benches are already filled up with people that sat around to watch the performance, so the two of us stay on our feet for the entire time. June insists on watching him perform. I don't really feel like disagreeing with him. After all, the whole thing was set up for his benefit, so there's no point in telling him what he can and can't do, what he wants to do.
He's got a really nice voice.
That he does. Surprisingly high for a guy, too. Pretty sure the song he's singing right now was originally by a woman.
I think he's a tenor.
What's that?
It's a term in music used to refer to a higher-pitched male singing voice. It's one of the highest pitches a male voice can get.
I didn't understand much of that, but that's pretty cool, I guess.
Do you know no music terms at all, Rutherford-san?
Nope. Sorry, I'm a music idiot. Dots.
Sure. Music.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing.
Ow! Before he can react, and while no one is looking, I give June a firm slap to his backside. Whoa! What, just smacking his ass. Looking away and whistling as if nothing happened.
What was that for?
What was what for? Oh, he's glaring at me now. Okay. I'm so. Oh! I felt something thin and firm whip me on my backside, and when I turned back to look, I see Jude's tail thrashed around behind him, while the tiger looks all satisfied.
Karma comes swiftly.
Okay, I'll admit I underestimated you a bit there. You have more spunk than I gave you credit for. Well, I guess we'll find that the fuck out, won't we?
That's right, you shouldn't mess with me.
You poor sweet summer child. If there weren't witnesses all around, I would have thrown you to the ground and would have my fist firmly grounded against the top of your head by now. All done with love, of course. I'd never be able to hurt June on purpose, that much is for sure. I just make him yield to me for a little bit. Once the Rams' performance is over, the dozen or so people lined around to watch all clap and bad bows with grace. Chit-chats with some of the audience members for a few minutes before collecting his things and heading off. Is it okay for you not to not talk to him? You seem pretty interested in his performance.
Doesn't mean I'd be comfortable doing that. Talking to strangers is still a pretty big weak spot for me.
Oh, it's a shame, but I totally get it. You don't have to do anything you're uncomfortable with so long as I'm around.
Thank you, Rutherford-san. I really appreciate it.
June looks around, watching the small crowd that gathered dispersed little by little with great interest.
Wow, I didn't even notice half these people arriving.
Doesn't surprise me, you tend to zone out pretty hard when something catches your eye.
I guess that's true. Not really a good thing.
It's cute. You get a pass for that alone.
I don't think that's something I should get a pass for.
Does that mean you prefer if I punish you for your transgressions?
No, one slap to my butt was enough.
Funny, I never mentioned that the punishment would be a slap, or that I'd go for your butt again. But if that's what they call reading in between the lines, then stop complaining so much and learn to take the compliment.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, hang on. I think you're starting to take this joke a little too seriously right now. We should probably get going, though. It will take us at least 40 minutes to get to the venue, and the event starts in a bit over an hour. I don't want to risk being late if something comes up on the way there.
Okay, let's get going.
You prepared to face the weekend train crowd?
Not really. I'll do my best.
Give him a few encouraging pats to the head before walking in the direction of the train station. June follows along behind me without another word, being very obedient despite his own concerns. Oh boy. Oh bother. Jim, 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 Jim. Just as I predicted, the train was so jam-packed that there's barely any room to stand inside. June is pressed very hard into me by the crowd, and I can feel my body rubbing against at least a couple of different strangers due to the acute lack of space. Ugh, this is why I hate taking trains in general. June has his arms wrapped around one of mine, but seems to be holding on to enough of his awareness to avoid squeezing super hard as usual. You okay there?
Yeah, it's just really tight in here.
You'll be saying that again fucking soon. Just be careful you don't hurt yourself. I get the feeling you're not very used to riding in these, and it can be dangerous if you lose your balance.
Noted.
I notice him whispering something to himself over and over again, but I'm unable to quite make it out due to the rumbling of the dozens, possibly hundreds of people squeezed into this giant tuna can. Is it some kind of mantra to keep himself calm? For what it's worth, he's already doing a ton better than when I first met him. I fully expected him to have freaked out by now. He's clearly trying his hardest to avoid causing any problems, which I also find endearing. June, hang in there. During one particularly sharp curve, the train jostles a little more than usual, sending the tiger flying back and into my chest.
Hey!
I make sure to catch him with one arm so he doesn't hurt himself by falling. You okay there?
Yeah, it's hard to stay on my feet like this. That could have been bad if I fell. Is this normal?
Pretty much. It's not even the worst thing about it, really. I've already gotten elbowed, kneed, and had someone fall on top of me. All these people can't seem to stay on their feet. You have no idea how happy I am to finally study in a school that I can walk to.
I don't think I'm cut out to live in the big city.
You're lucky you're not in Tokyo, then. My family used to live there back before Dad died. Feels 10 times worse than this. Come on, our stop is next. You're gonna be alright to make the walk?
Of course I will. Just a little bump on the head. It's not a big deal.
Careful it doesn't end up knocking out what few neurons you still have left.
What? That can happen?
I guess it already did. Oh well. Oh hey, the exact same place we were Yeah. As soon as we started walking by the neighborhood, June began murmuring something about this place feeling familiar. Then we finally came to the front of the concert hall. His eyes went wide. He walked through the front door with the tiger in absolute silence, staring at the place and people inside with palpable shock. What do you think it's so hard about over there, buddy? I poked the side of his stomach, speaking to him teasingly while attempting to feign ignorance.
Why are... Huh?
Eloquent.
What are we doing here?
Well, I know you're a big fan of classical music. I found out there's a local city orchestra here in Saitama that they'd be performing here today, so I got us tickets.
What? Are you serious?
Yep, of course I am. To be perfectly honest, I don't know much about orchestra, so I don't even know if they have pianos and whatnot, but I still thought it might be something you'd enjoy.
I love it! Oh, wow! Thank you so much, Rutherford-san!
Of course, anything to cheer you up.
So, what's this orchestra like? What's their composition? Are they regular symphonic orchestra? Do they do a special arrangement?
I actually...
Oh! I wonder if they're going to do it. But then again, I want to organize it. Of course, there's nothing wrong with being an amateur orchestra. But I wonder if the kind of songs that I just thinking about are the possibilities of getting me so to the seats or front row seats. And oh my God, you take a breath! Please! Slow down! God! Oh, sorry. Was I going too fast?
Yes! Jesus, I think I was only getting every fifth word, even that. Calm down.
Sorry, I got a bit ahead of myself.
You think? I just hope they don't have a dress code. I'd hate to get kicked out of here.
Still, I'm really excited about this. I've never had a chance to watch a real orchestra live, so I'm having a hard time containing myself.
Are you saying that up until now and ever since I've known you've been contained?
Yeah, I have. Why?
Oh, dear God. I really shouldn't have taken you to a bakery before this. I don't think the sugar is helping any.
Why? I don't get it.
No, I'm not exactly a believer, but may God have mercy on my soul today. Well, at least we managed to get here 10 minutes early so we don't have to rush or anything. There's some time to settle down, take a deep breath, all things one usually does before watching a performance.
I guess, in a way. Not really sure why we're talking about it, but actually I do have a question. Or, well, several questions.
I'll try my best to answer them. When you got?
Do you even know what kind of music they're going to be playing today?
Alright, classical music, right? Isn't that what orchestras play?
It is the norm, but that doesn't mean it's always the case. There are orchestras that play all kinds of music. I've even seen a rock orchestra online once.
The Trans-Siberian Orchestra, for example. You're kidding me.
No, they usually announce their repertoire beforehand. Was there anything about it on their social media? You didn't check their social media, did you?
Not really, no. Didn't think I had to. I just heard about an orchestra performing, thought to myself, this is perfect, and rushed to buy the tickets. Come to think of it, I probably should have looked a little bit deeper into it, shouldn't I? Sorry.
It's alright, I'm sure I'll enjoy it either way. I was just curious to know.
It's good to know, at least. Definitely makes me feel a little bit better. You said you had other questions, though, right?
Yeah, although if you didn't know the answer to my first one, I doubt you'll know the others either. I mean, they do kind of require you to have looked into it, after all.
I'm sorry, okay? I'm not usually good with this whole planning things out shtick, but I still tried my best.
Whether it's on, you're grumbling.
I'm allowed this.
I'm really sorry. Didn't mean to make you upset or put any flaws into your gift. It's a great gesture, and I already love it.
Oh, no. You don't need to apologize. I'm just mad at myself because you're totally right. I should have put a little more thought into at least researching the basics. I guess I was so excited about how perfect the idea sounded that I rushed in head first. Being impulsive is kind of my flaw at times.
But like I said, I really do love it. I do think it was perfect. It shows how well you know me and how much you care.
I'm glad you think so. I was really hoping to make you happy.
I do think so. You really are the best, Rutherford-san. I'm glad it was for you that you won. Nothing. Just stupid secretive tiger. I'll karate chop you in the head, you keep this up. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, there is one question you might be able to answer.
Huh? Shoot.
Do we have assigned seating, or do we just sit wherever? If it's the first, then everything is fine, but it's the second one, then
you want to go to the hall already so you can sit in the front.
kinda, yeah.
Well, sorry to burst your bubble, but the seats are assigned, and by the time I managed to buy the tickets, the first 6 or so rows were already filled up. Aw, man. Jeez, look a bit more disappointed, why don't you? I know I shouldn't be salty about it, but I can't help but be just a little slight little bit. Yes, I'm petty. Sue me. I'm pretty sure you're still gonna have a good view of it. You don't have to look so sad about it.
Oh, I'm not sad. I'm super happy right now. See?
I instinctively shift around uncomfortably where I stand. There's something that really creeps me out about seeing how easily June managed to put on such a happy, genuine smile on demand. How would you even know how to do that? How much practice would that even need? Yeah, I guess you are, huh?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go to our seats. I figure it's about time already anyway.
Sure. Are you alright though? You seem upset.
He innocently cocks his head to the side, taking a step closer and inspecting my face with darting eyes. Nah, I'm alright. Just a bit worried that you might be upset about not getting good seat, that's all.
What? No, Rutherford, son, you shouldn't worry about that. The last thing I want is for you to be worrying about me.
I'm just paranoid, I guess. I want today to be perfect for you and all.
I'm already having fun. I've been having fun all day. You don't need to worry about me.
I can't tell whether this smile is genuine or not. God, I really am starting to feel paranoid. Come on, we should head to our seats. I grab the tiger by his wrist, turning my back to him and making sure to gently pull him along while keeping him behind me. Also, we can't see the frown forming on my face at the moment. Hey, it's the same concert hall even. The performers are already on stage, readying themselves in their positions and checking their instruments. There are already too many for me to count, probably over 20 in total. There's no piano in sight, except the one that I see, which leaves me a little bit disappointed. I'm sure June would have been thrilled to see one, and I had no idea that they weren't a common thing in orchestras.
Looks like pretty standard instrumentation. I wonder what they're going to be performing.
Well, just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Tiger Places. There should be like pamphlets or like a set list or something, like a paper that you're given normally. High school and middle school and elementary school bands even have those. The tiger places a hand on the arm support of his seat, rubbing the sides of his hand gently against mine. Almost to the point where it seems accidental. He doesn't even look at me while he does it, leaving me unsure whether he meant to do that or not. Since it doesn't happen again, I decide to chalk it up to a coincidence, turning my eyes back to the stage as a woman takes the front of stage.
Oh, that must be the maestro.
Is it the person that leads the orchestra?
Exactly.
Interesting. I just took a guess based on the name, but I guess I'm glad to see that I'm right. The performers all clutch their instruments, readying themselves to play any second now. June waits at the edge of his seat, his eyes fixed on the maestro's figure. I follow his gaze, curious to see what'll happen next. With a flick of his stick, the instruments all start in hard synchrony, filling the air with the sound of strings.
Whoa, air.
Just from the look of his face, I can already tell he's immediately recognized it. At least he looks pretty happy and satisfied. I'm certainly glad to see that. The sound is... I don't know how to describe it. Kind of feels out of this world. ethereal. Is that the word? There's light and fluffy. Like every swish of the maestro's stick brings around new colors flooding into sight, hearing. The atmosphere is entirely different from when I watched June perform. I don't feel the same sense of gripping magnetism as I usually have when I watch him. Not that it's not interesting to watch. It's certainly beautiful, and I'm glad to be able to watch it, but it doesn't give me that sense of urgency, that craving for more. I wonder why it is. June's tail sways slowly back and forth, brushing against my legs, while the tiger happily watches the performance, a big goofy smile plastered across his face. Still enough to make me smile myself. Just seeing him seem so content makes me glad to have come here. Last thing I want is to see him looking so stressed and miserable like he did last week. Being able to cheer him up even just a little bit is enough to leave me satisfied. I want him to smile like this more. I want a genuine smile from him. Before I even noticed it, that alone became one of my greatest priorities in everyday life. It's strange. I gingerly placed my hand on top of the tiger's own, watching his face to the corner of my eyes to see if he'll react to it at all. He, however, doesn't seem to react to it at all, seeming to be too distracted to even notice the gesture, his eyes never leaving the stage. I continue to enjoy the rest of the performance while clutching the tiger's hand in mine, content to just have him right next to me like this. At some point, without me even noticing, the tiger moved his hand around, placing its back on the armrest, lining his palm up with my own, and intertwining his fingers between mine. And back to the misery that is the train. The orchestra performance was shorter than I expected. I thought it would be already completely dark out by the time we left, but it turns out that it was still a fair bit of orange on the sky. Sun sets slowly on the horizon with the last few minutes of daylight. Maybe there's about 20 minutes or so left before it gets dark out. I mean, I guess it makes sense, given that they seem to be an amateur group with day jobs. They probably can't focus on this stuff full time, so their set list isn't going to be on anything huge, but I guess I still expected it to be at least 2 or 3 hours long. Is that too much? Do orchestras not usually go that long? I don't know. I didn't manage to get anything coherent out of June afterwards, as he seemed to be talking with the speed of a movie stuck on fast forward. Now on the way home, well, he was quiet for other reasons. The train is even fuller now than it was earlier, but then again, given the time of day, it's really no wonder. Most people are going to be heading home by now, and it's only natural that for them to fill up more than usual. There's barely any room to breathe, let alone move. There isn't any room for me to breathe, and now we're gonna pick up more. Yeah! Bah, bah, bah. Another one rides the bus. Bah. And another one's on, another one rides the bus. Hey, you gonna sit by you, another one rides the bus. We're almost to our stop. Don't need to cling to me so hard, by the way. I'm afraid of falling again. It's not that bad. Just plant your feet firmly on the ground and you'll be fine. Easy for you to say. You're used to it. You have no idea how many times I fell as a child before I got used to riding the train, kitten. Just because I'm used to it now doesn't mean I didn't have a hard time getting used to it. This won't last long, just 5 more minutes or so. You'll be fine. Whoa! Oh, shit! Just then, before either of us can realize what's going on, the train shakes suddenly, sending lots of people off their feet. A petite woman bumps against June, elbowing him by accident before she manages to establish herself on her feet. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Are you alright? Yeah, I'll be fine. Just knocked the wind out of me. Ugh. June's voice flutters unnaturally, his entire body shaking a little. All of a sudden he grabs onto me, wrapping an arm around my shoulders as if begging for support. Are you okay? Oh no, 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 no! His other hand goes to his chest, his knees nearly buckling under his weight, giving me barely any time to hold on to him to keep him standing. My chest. My eyes widen in horror as it dawns on me what has happened. Did she... The tiger nods meekly, desperately clutching his chest with shivering hands and gasping. He's got elbowed in the chest. It must have been what happened while he wasn't looking. He's only just recovered from his latest flare-up. His body probably isn't prepared to deal with that kind of stress yet again so soon. Hold on, we're almost to our stop. June nods meekly, burying his face onto my chest, holding on to me tightly while taking labored breaths. Just hold on to me, you'll be fine. I'll get you home, and you'll be able to rest. He nods again, his whole face brushing up and down against my chest. He's not even letting me see his expression. Come on, arrive at our stop already! As soon as the doors of the train opened, I grabbed June and rushed out of the compartment with him still clinging to me. His breathing has stabilized a bit by the time we arrived, and he seemed to be doing better, but that still wasn't enough to keep my racing mind from worrying. How are you feeling? Are you in pain? Talk to me.
I'm okay. I just need to lie down.
Despite his best attempt to fake a smile, it was clear from his twitching brow and cadence of his words that he was having trouble speaking. God damn it, you can't be honest with me even now? Oh, God damn, stupid fucking tiger! Come on, it's a bit of a walk home still. Maybe I should call a taxi.
No, there's no need. I can walk. Just hurry.
All right, I won't argue with you now. Just take things slow for now. Come on. I led him away from the crowd, trying my best to push aside anyone so they don't collide with him, especially now when he's basically shrinking into himself. At some point, he pulled away from me, struggling against my attempts to at least hold onto his hand, wanting to walk on his own 2 feet. I bit my tongue, not wanting to cause a scene in public. Besides, I feel stressing him out right now might be the only making things worse. If only he weren't so stubborn! June, stop trying to rush so much. You can't be walking ahead of me.
Right.
He nodded meekly, not holding my gaze, barely even slowing down at all. Just enough to say that he's complying. If you're feeling so bad that you want to rush home, then we really should grab a taxi.
No, I can walk. I want to walk. I don't need help.
Why do you have to be so fucking stubborn about this? Every single time, always refusing help, always being so annoying. Why do you have to be like this? That's it. I'm going to look for a nearest taxi stop. No! I glance up at the traffic light, seeing a countdown letting me know that it'll turn red in a few seconds. I come to a stop, pulling out my phone and trying to check the location of the nearest taxi station downtown. It seemed I'd gotten a few messages from Aki while my phone was set to silent for the orchestra. I decided to tap a quick response right after checking that we could get a taxi about 2 streets away from where we were. I needed to let Aki know we were heading home. What? For some reason, without really knowing why, a deep sense of... No. For some reason, without really knowing why, a deep sense of dread sets in, making my entire body shake and shiver. When I looked up, my eyes widened in pure horror. No! You fuck! They foreshadowed it! That he was walking onto traffic... Scene playing out in front of my eyes unfolds almost as if in slow motion, unraveling itself like a frozen picture in frame. Why is June? Almost mechanically, the tiger turns his head slowly, eyes falling upon the approaching headlights, his expression unreadable from where I stood. The sound of tires screeching echoes loudly and cruelly in my ears, sharp and grating. It won't stop in time. June, fuck you! No! I can't scroll back. No, fuck that. Fuck that. You are not doing that to me. I don't care that I gotta fucking skip through all this shit. Got him! No! Oh, there he is. Well, shoving him to the ground ain't gonna do him much good, but it's better than getting hit by a fucking car. Every single nerve in my body has me running as fast as I can before my brain has time to catch up with what's happening. My hands collide against something so soft while I fall to the ground, feeling my knees scraping against the asphalt. What? That 1 second that seemed to last an eternity, my mind finally comprehends everything. The seconds stretch into what seems like minutes, and in that slowed down little time frame, I see June's eyes widening at the sight of my body flying toward him. June, I hope I didn't hurt you even more when I pushed you. Please be alright, okay? It took a second for my consciousness to fully ebb. My body felt as if I were floating in a warm pool, weightless. A loud, painful ringing echoing through my ears as if the sounds of screams and stomping footsteps come closer and closer. And then silence. To be you, whore, really? And you had to be so fucking dramatic so I couldn't scroll back and save so I gotta go in again, but that's the fucking least of my concerns right now. To be continued. Man, out of all the fucking time I've spent in the past 2 days playing this fucking game, out of all the places where I was like, man, it would really suck if the game fucking just happened to end on updates there. Had to be there. And why was the to be continued so fucking more dramatic than any other one? I guess I had to fit the scene, but it makes me think like, I don't know. Fuck, man. I don't really have anything to add. Well, we'll see how that turns out on the next one. But until then,